Ray was an average guy living in a small town. He was married to a beautiful woman and had 2 kids, a dog, and a nice house with a pool. Many might say that he lived the American dream. His children were very adventurous, always wanting to spread their wings and travel to different parts of the country. But Ray preferred to stay home, always visited the same places, and kept his social circle small. There was a time when his spirit was as lively as his children's, but that was years ago. Decades of adrenaline rush and adventures that ended in the worst way possible. Many times the memories of that night came back to haunt him, like when journalists knock on his door asking for an interview. Then the memories would pour back in. Years ago, Ray was not only a fan of adventures, but also of horror. He grew up knowing that he would one day be a famous ghost hunter and reveal the secrets of the dead. However, as time went on, he believed less and less in the afterlife, demons, and mythical creatures. It was all fake to him and just a big fat check. As Ray watched TV one evening, his phone rang. It was Juan, his best friend, calling from Puerto Rico to congratulate him on his new show's success. Juan was as ambitious as he was, and as soon as Ray answered the phone, he knew his friend would have an enticing proposal. Only 3 minutes into the call, Juan told him about a monster supposedly roaming the area, the Chupacabras. A monstrous creature that was first seen in Puerto Rico. It attacks livestock at night and consumes their blood, and is also known as a goat sucker. Juan explained that Chupacabras were blamed for recent attacks on goats, sheep, and other domestic animals the past month, and had left behind a trail of uneaten carcasses that were completely drained of blood. Ray was instantly interested, and not even a week later, left for Puerto Rico. He spent the vacation days he could have enjoyed with his family on this trip. But this was going to be worth it for his new vlog. After doing research, he found out that the Chupacabras were nothing more than wolves or hyenas with rabies, and the paranoia of the villagers only added to the appeal of the legend. After arriving at the airport, Juan greeted him with a huge grin and invited him out to lunch. The two were childhood friends and happily caught up with each other, but they were both clear about their goal: to catch the Chupacabras on video. So, without wasting any time, they finished eating, planned a night in the forest, and in the evening got down to business. They knew it was going to be dangerous, so they both brought shotguns to protect themselves from any wild beasts. The first few hours of their night were uneventful, and Juan had fallen asleep, so Ray just went live on Instagram and answered his fans' questions. But then suddenly, Ray felt like the luckiest man in the world and started recording. He heard an animal screaming desperately in pain, and when he looked around, he saw it on the ground, butchered, and a shadowy figure was digging into its stomach. Ray was too shocked to scream. Juan woke up from his nap. He began to shoot in the direction of the strange being. Somehow, the creature used the goat as a shield and quickly took off deep into the forest. They both followed it, Ray leading the way. But when they walked towards its direction, Ray saw the hole in the stomach of the poor goat's belly and felt fear for the very first time. What kind of predator would do this? It wasn't even eaten, just ripped into shreds and drained of blood. Ray was taking some photos and recording the poor animal when his battery died. So they stayed quiet and continued looking for the creature. As they walked deeper into the forest, they held onto their weapons for dear life, not knowing where the creature was hiding or when it would attack. Their heartbeat increased as they followed the trail left behind of the corpses of several local animals, all completely drained of blood. The only thing that provided them with a sense of comfort was the sounds of crickets and the koki. After following Juan for a while in darkness, all Ray could hear were footsteps in front of him. Ray tried to keep up with Juan, but to no avail, because his footsteps were joined by another's. The footsteps were strange. It sounded like a four-legged animal. And then it started running. Little by little, Ray began to lose track of the footsteps until suddenly it was quiet. And then he heard a creature scream in agony. He knew they weren't far from each other, and he tried to stay positive. He was sure Juan either caught the beast or lost it. Ray walked a little further into the forest only to find Juan, thanks to the glow of the moonlight. He approached him in relief, asking if he lost the goat killer. Juan didn't answer, so Ray asked if he was okay. Suddenly, Juan's body fell backward. As he took a couple of steps towards Juan, he noticed with surprise that his neck had been clawed and screamed so loud that it echoed throughout the forest. Suddenly, Ray felt like throwing up and started to feel dizzy. He thought he was going to faint. He ran around in circles yelling for help. While he was processing everything that had happened, he realized that he wasn't alone. He started shooting his gun all around the forest until he heard a growl. Ray's only reaction was to pee his pants when he turned around and watched as the strange being opened the belly of Juan's corpse with its sharp claws and fangs. It was very dark, but he could tell that this being was a little short. It had 4 legs and long claws. It almost looked like a hairless dog mixed with a reptile. Its red eyes were huge as it stared at Ray. And it kept digging and pulling out all his friend's guts as if it were soil. Ray couldn't control his emotions and let out a scream that was barely heard. Or so he thought, as the creature growled in anger. Ray aimed his gun at the creature and pulled the trigger. He realized he was all out of bullets. It stopped digging, and Ray just froze in fear as it slowly walked towards him. When it was only a few feet away, he could feel his breathing intensify. The creature's eyes were fixated on Ray's neck, which was surely going to be its next target. At that moment, Ray's whole life flashed before his eyes. He regretted not spending more time with his wife or children. He regretted not being happier. He regretted prioritizing fame over his family. And he regretted being an idiot and not being more prepared. As he wept, the creature stood in front of him. Its face trembled in anticipation, and its claws were ready to pierce his skin. Seeing it up close, he quickly understood that this could not be a wolf with rage. It was a Chupacabra. With this mythical being in front of him, he could only close his eyes and accept his fate. When suddenly, a loud noise shattered his eardrums. A rifle had been fired in his direction, and after a short war cry from the Chupacabra, the creature just vanished from the area, while locals came to assist Ray. When Ray told the story to the world, no one believed him. They all thought he was just trying to get more views and called him an idiot for even going into a forest at night. The footage on his phone wasn't clear enough, and the last video he recorded hadn't been saved. He was only approached by journalists or a few young horror enthusiasts who wanted to make the same mistake that ended his friend's life and almost his own. Ray never stepped foot in a forest again, and whenever a journalist approached him to ask what happened, he only said that his memories were very blurry and that surely they were only attacked by a big, bad wolf.